All right, welcome to our first ever podcast or show, whatever you want to call it, for the Central Florida Crusaders. I'm Andrew Haines, co-owner of the team. I'm with Tom Traxler, our head coach and GM. How's it going, Tom?
It's going great. Busy. Very, very busy, as you
Busy?
can imagine.
Busy? What do you do all day? Huh.
Nothing. I sit around here imagining things to do, and then I go, I'll do them later.
Yeah, no, I mean it's people don't realize how much work is in the off season, and then it's like when the season comes, it's almost like it slows down a little bit sometimes.
There is, when you talk about it, I mean, not only am I busy signing players, and we are, and I've had more communications and more meetings. It seems like the roster is beginning to take shape. We're also looking forward to tryouts because I do believe that there's going to be some players that we're going to find through that process, which is very exciting for both teams. Very happy with the way the roster is shaping up right now. A lot of experience. Now on the women's side, of course, hard because the women only just started playing professional indoor soccer last season when you and the NISL introduced it. So the players I'm getting don't have any indoor experience, but they're very experienced outdoor players that have had NWSL experience, high level collegiate experience. And so I'm excited by how that roster is shaping up. But then you talk about, we've got to sell season tickets and we've got to put fans in the stands. We got to get corporate sponsors on
Money,
board.
money. We need money to operate.
Yeah, you've got to get, sorting out where we're going to train and, the training schedule itself. And, there's just so much really to do that, yeah, it's busy all the time.
Yeah, it really never ends. Like this last week prior to the hurricane here, you and the other teams that we operate, Fayetteville, Memphis, came to Tampa. We had the Tampa Bay Strikers tryouts. Looked like about over 100 players out there, men and women. Some great talent. What was that like, kind of going to another team's tryouts, and how did you and the other coaches get along? Did you guys get along? Was there a lot of trash talk going on? What was that like?
Corey always tells me, that now we're bitter rivals, but I'm like, we could never be. I've known him for too long. I've known him since he was like 9 years old. So,
yeah.
And then
Tell
we
him
worked together.
You're going to call his mom.
Yeah, I will. I'll tell your mom and dad on you if you don't stop. But no, you know what? There was a real good spirit of camaraderie, and I think that's one of the things I like about this league is I think we will be highly competitive with one another. I think you've got in Martine and Jay, certainly Corey, myself, four guys that want to win, that want to be successful with both their women's and their men's teams. But there's a good level of respect. It was good to spend time to meet the guys that we're going to be coaching against. But at the same time, I think while we're all competing against each other, we're all helping to build something here. We're helping to build a league. So it doesn't do any good if, let's say, Fayetteville is really, really strong. It'd be good for Jay. It'd be great for Fayetteville. But if they're so far better than the rest of us that it's like they're in a league by themselves and the rest of us are trying to play catch up, I think it's good if the league entirely is strong. There's parity, and then there's growth there. So I think we're all aligned on that fact that we're all trying to build something together. We're all trying to grow NISL together. So it helps us if each one of the member organizations is strong.
Well, and I think, that's the big thing I've been preaching in the off season is like right now we need to be almost like one unit, helping each other where we can. We all have strengths and weaknesses. But I really think that it was a great weekend just seeing, the coaches interact and there was, I heard some like, fun banter a little bit here and there. And we want that. I mean, I want to see, like, the way I look at it is, whenever, Michael Taylor, who's our co-owner with the Crusaders and the other teams, when he and I used to own our own teams and compete against each other, I'd love to beat him more than anybody. It's like, beat my best friend. I got bragging rights, right? So our little family here of the four teams that we have, I mean, everyone's working together, and I know come game time, it's going to be highly competitive because we have a competitive group. and the talent level throughout the league this year is going to be stepped up quite a bit from last season. And Florida, in Central Florida, and then down in Tampa, I think we have a unique opportunity because there's some great talent, and with our focus being more local and regionalized players, gives an advantage there. Obviously, the women's side is brand new, but talk a little bit about some of that local talent that you've been able to find.
Yes, players kind of right now they're coming at me from all directions, and then it seems like when you sign one player, they have another player, and then they have another player, and it's kind of like the 7 degrees of Kevin Baker, the 7 degrees of separation, whatever you want to call that thing. Everybody kind of knows somebody, and they know somebody at a pretty high level. So it has been exciting, and that's an area of the game that I'm curious. I've never been on the side of. I've never coached a women's team, so I'm eager to get this opportunity because I enjoy the way the women play. I think they approach the game ethically. You never see women you don't see some of the petty stuff you see in guys' games. You don't see them surrounding the ref. You don't see them flopping and rolling around. I think, and they play hard. They play real hard. So, and I've always enjoyed that. And I've always said that about the women's game. So I'm really excited to work with the ladies. On the same side, some of the guys that we're bringing in too are guys I know very well. And we've added some guys that don't have indoor experience, but are like MLS players, USL players. So they're high level players. They're highly technical players. So, but the women and in Central Florida with Rollins, with UCF, with Stetson just down the street, we signed Duda Paval from Stetson just recently. You go over, you've got Daytona State, and you've got Eastern Florida State. Now those are obviously they're 2-year colleges right now. Their players kind of move on, but there's no saying you couldn't sign someone to an amateur contract, right? So there's plenty of opportunity. Plus the youth clubs here, Florida Craze Crush, Orlando City, the Florida Rush, Orlando City, they have several. Orlando City has several different affiliate programs. So they're in Lake Nona, they're up in Seminole, they're down in Kissimmee. So there's a lot of great clubs developing talent. I've gotten a line on a young player actually that we're talking to. And she's a different level. I mean, she's head and shoulders above the level she's at. So yeah, it's the talent pool on the women's side here in Central Florida, very, very deep.
Well, and I think too, like the unique thing that we have is there's no other opportunities for women when it comes to indoor soccer and really just in soccer in general. I mean, you look at how many leagues there are for on the men's side, and it's about 10 or 20% of that for the female side. So I think us giving them the opportunity as well, and they kind of come in with a chip on their shoulder, like they want to prove that they belong, and they do. And it's really good to see. I mean, I know the women players that have been signed with all the teams this year. I mean, again, it keeps elevating, and I know you have some that haven't been announced yet, and you're working on it. There's some big time ballers that are going to be playing not only for the Crusaders but throughout the NISL. So it's gonna make for a lot of fun.
And that's exciting, and that's what you want. You want high level because at the end of the day, what we're in is sports entertainment. So we're there to entertain our fan bases, and so we want to put a great product on the floor, and I think everyone will, and that's where it becomes competitive. We're all partners in building NISL, and then come game day, we're opponents for the hour that we're playing against each other. It'll be more than an hour, but 4 15-minute quarters. But for those 60 minutes, we're opponents, and everybody wants to win. So I'm pleased to hear that the quality is even better than what it was last season, because last season started off, it was a great way to launch the league. And in watching the games, I thought it started very strongly.
Yeah, and we just have to build, and part of that process is in the front office too. And so last year we were really focused a lot on the product and making sure the double headers, and just all the logistics behind having. I mean, essentially we're two leagues. We have a men's league and a women's, if you really break it down. launching all that. So now we have a good handle on the product. We're going to continue to improve that. Now it's how can we get more butts in the seats? How can we get more engagement in the community? And so, like this past weekend, prior to the hurricane coming through here, we had you and the other teams down in Tampa. We had the strikers tryouts. Then we had meetings, and we got through Monday meetings. And my phone's alerting, like Amber Alerts. It's like, oh, I live in an evacuation zone in St. Pete. Other people at the meetings, we had people that flew in. Mary Ellen Rogers, our president, Corey Adamson, who's the head coach and GM up in Memphis, and then the guys up in Fayetteville. So, we were trying to get through as much as we could, and there was a lot of information on that Monday, and I think it was really productive to have all of our teams together talking about what's working well in their market and different strategies to try to, at the end of the day, put butts in the seats. Because even as a visiting team, you don't want to go into a place with no fans. You want it to be hostile if you're visiting somewhere, and then you want your home arena to be a home field advantage for you. So really working and focusing on driving ticket sales and getting the community buy-in. So what was kind of your take from that day? I mean, did you think it was valuable and get anything from it?
I did. League meetings are always good. It's a chance to get the leadership together. It's a chance to pick other people's brains. Sometimes when you get in your own headspace and your own little bubble, it's easy to see things your way and not see what someone else is doing and what someone else is that works, and also what someone else can do to enhance your ideas. Maybe you throw out an idea, maybe someone says, hey, have you thought about doing this as well? That's great as an add-on. So I enjoyed that aspect. I always enjoy marketing. Marketing is something that's fun for me. So when we talk about, and I'm excited once we get them all fleshed out and we announce them, the different theme nights that we're going to have are going to be exciting. And they're fun to work on, right? Because you're bringing in pregame elements, you're bringing in halftime elements, and hopefully opening up a different audience and maybe some people that are attracted to come because of what you're doing that night. So that's always exciting. I really enjoyed talking about that. I enjoyed listening to the broadcast information. Broadcasting, obviously, something that's near and dear to my heart. I've done a lot of. So I'm always excited to talk about how the league can sell itself through its different broadcast channels. And some of that I can't wait till that gets released because I think there's some great news coming on that front. So I enjoyed I enjoyed the meetings. I enjoyed sitting down with the leadership of the league and also the leadership from the other teams.
Yeah. So we ended up, it was supposed to go until Wednesday. We ended up finishing up Monday a little early and trying to get everyone safely home. How did the hurricane affect you in Central Florida? I was in a mandatory evacuation state, so I had to leave. I went to South Florida at first. So how about you? Were you able to stick through there?
I did. At home, we, thankfully, we were fortunate. Just some little minor things, just some, yard debris. Had to watch the pool, make sure that didn't overflow. But I know that everybody's not as lucky. I've lived in Florida my whole life, so I'm a native Floridian, and I've been through a lot of hurricanes. I've never ever seen a hurricane dump so much water, and we were already saturated, right? I mean, we had already gotten so much rain over the past weeks before that it didn't take much, and this thing just. I have a friend of mine who is a local coach in town. His whole apartment flooded. He's out of his apartment. He can't even get to it right now. I see neighborhoods. I see homes completely flooded out. Just things that I've never seen in my time. I mean, not like this, not to the magnitude that it happened. So I know a lot of people were so negatively affected, but it's at times like this, we all pull together. I know my friends and I were going to be doing something for our friend who's a local coach to help him through. this time and help him get himself back whole. And I think that's what's great about the human spirit. I think that's what's great about us. I think that's what Americans are all about. When we do face adversity, no matter who we are, where we are, what we think, what we believe in, we can put that aside and we come together to help each other. And that's something that's just special. So, we were very lucky, but it did drop a whole lot of rain. It didn't lose any power until it was Thursday morning, 11:30. I got through the whole night. I didn't lose the power at all. And I'm like, wow, that's great. Sitting here at 11:30 and the power goes up. I'm like, really? Now? But I was lucky again because it came back by like 6:30. I really wasn't out of power very long. So I have absolutely zero to complain about.
Yeah, my power, I only know because I got an email from the power company. Mine was out like 28 or 30 hours. St. Pete really floods even with just some rain. So, I've been through a few hurricanes in Central Florida and wasn't too worried until St. Pete. I see how it rains, but it's what's tough to see is Southwest Florida. I lived in Fort Myers, Naples area for years, and I have a lot of friends and family down there, and some of those places like Sanibel and Captiva, some of the most beautiful places in the country are like totally gone. So it's tough to see, but what I do see is what you just said, people coming together, people helping out, our co-owner, Michael Taylor, his company is down there working, helping families and people. So, but everybody's just out trying to help where they can. And it's going to take a while to rebuild, but I'm confident with everyone coming together, it'll be bigger and better.
As long as their families are, as long as their families are okay. If your loved ones are okay and beside you, the rest is fixable. Yes, absolutely. Can rebuild even better.
Yeah. So that definitely threw a little wrench in our plans last week with
we didn't get to have our competition meetings.
No, exactly. We didn't get to the fun stuff, and we didn't do our boat day. That's what I wanted to do, the boat day. Now that would have been fun on a day before a hurricane. That thing would have been all over the place.
I'm not interested in recreating Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. I don't want to do that. But it would have been nice just because, again, it's just nice to get out away from competition, away from the league, away from, and just talk to people about other things and really get to know the people that you're coaching with. I enjoyed talking with, I know Corey, of course. He and I have lots of history, but I didn't know Jay, and I'd never met Martine. So it was, and Martine's staff as well, the two Chris's. So it was really nice to sit and get a chance to meet and talk with them and hear more about where they're from and what they do, and just meet the person. So that was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to make for some good competition coming up. Right now we with the Crusaders, we're looking to add some staff. So we need some front office staff, primarily on the sales and community relations side. Tom and I are really big on community involvement. Our marketing tents and table covers and all our marketing stuff is slowly coming in, and now we're excited to start getting out there in the community. So if you have an event or something that you'd like us to come out to, please reach out to us. We definitely want to be a big part of the community in any capacity.
And if you want to be a part of the Central Florida Crusaders as well, certainly let Andrew, let myself know, because honestly, right now with us, we've signed players, but we're not out in the community yet. We haven't started training. The folks that we hire that go out to these events become the face right now of the Central Florida Crusaders. So, and you could be the person that's signing up season ticket holders and making these lasting connections with people that they'll always remember you for. And you'll see them when they come to the games, and they'll be excited to see you. So it's a lot of fun working in professional sports, and indoor soccer is really unique because it's so fast and it's fun. It's frenzied. People come back all the time. They always come back to indoor soccer. I always say, just let me get you in once. Let me get you to one game. You'll come back.
To have a good time.
Yeah,
It's
and then you'll
impossible.
get, and so if you're a member of our staff, you get to be a part of that, and you get to be a part of bringing exciting indoor soccer to a whole new group of people. And you, again, you get to be one of the faces of our club out in the community.
Talk about our facility where we play, Edition Arena at UCF. I mean, they've never had professional indoor soccer. Um, what's your thoughts on the facility?
It's beautiful. I think it's one of the buildings that, if I could think of a place to put indoor soccer, it'd be one of the places I go, that's ideal for it. When you talk about it does hold 10,000. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to put 10,000 people in there, and we're going to aim to do that. But the way they can section it off, you could put 5,000 people in there, and it's going to sound great. And the way they have the seating chart goes, there's not a bad seat really to watch indoor soccer, and that's what it's really. I mean, the floor is the floor, the surface is the surface, the walls, the glass, the players. That's kind of walking out on stage. It's like a band takes a stage down, puts it up in another town. When they walk out on stage, it's the same stage every night. So for us, it's the floors, the boards. That it's kind of the same every night. But for the supporters, when they come in, it's all about how they can see the game. So it's got great sight lines, and I think it's so easy to get to. And there's so much around it too. Like, you can, the places you can go to eat and entertain yourself both before and after the game can make for a great family day out. Can be a great family evening out. Can make a great family day out. Easy to get to. Again, the entertainment offerings around it. So I just, and it's on the campus of UCF, which I think is a great campus and a wonderful school. So I'm excited. I think and you look at the outside too. I mean, it's a beautiful arena. It's an arena any pro sports franchise would look and go, man, that's our home. I'm happy to say it's our home. It's a beautiful home.
Anytime I see palm trees in front of an arena, it goes up on my list. I just am like the palm trees, like the palm trees.
But it
But no,
looks
it's
good.
great.
It looks
Yeah. I mean,
professional. It's a professional arena. And
yep.
it's run by
Yeah.
a
I mean,
great staff, a great company that runs it. Their staff there is top notch. So I
yep.
know that our fans are going to come in and have a great experience from parking to walking in, from will call to ticketing to concessions, merchandise, and then enjoying the game. I think it's going to be a great place to watch indoor soccer.
Well, and that's one of the things too. You and I have always talked about. I mean, we've talked about UCF, area for a team for probably 3 or 4 years now, I think. And but one of the things I like talking to you about, because you get it, is that the fan experience is number one, and making sure that it's more than just the soccer. It's a whole event, and um, we talked about a lot of that stuff at the meetings, and you had a lot of great ideas. But I mean, that's what fans can really expect, is to come out and be entertained. Oh, and there's actually a soccer game going on too. So, it's
An
going to be a
exciting
fun
soccer
time.
game.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
I think when you come in, you have to be entertained from the second you walk in to the second you leave. That's up to us. That's going to be on us to create that entertainment for you, to make it a fun environment. I know that we haven't announced this person yet. We've got a great MC. I've got a line on a fantastic announcer. I know that we've got some really creative ideas of uh, things that we're going to do inside the arena, both on the jumbotron and contests. Some of the entertainment that we'll have at halftime is going to be young and local, but talented. So, look, there's going to be something going on in that arena from the time you walk in to the time you leave after the last whistle is blown. There's going to be something going on.
yeah. Well, we've got season tickets on sale now. We've already started selling season tickets, so that's been good. Our schedule's being worked on. We finally got dates. I think it might have been like last week, like right before the hurricane. So we'll be announcing all that stuff in the coming weeks probably. But it looks like the Crusaders home opener is going to be in mid-January. So we can kind of pencil that whole area in everyone's calendars. That's when we're looking to open up the season in Central Florida. And just look for us out in the community, now, and definitely reach out, communicate. I mean, we've got to be one of the most accessible sports teams, there is. I mean, Tom is very accessible. Myself, even Mary Ellen, our president. So we've got a crew of people that, the top people within the club that make themselves available to the community. So please reach out. Let us know how we can get involved, and we'll keep kind of giving you guys some updates, every few weeks through this platform. And come back and check us out. Any last words, Tom?
Yeah, we're also going to have a really exciting, which came out of our meetings, an advisory committee, and we're going to be soliciting people to apply for this, and you can be a part. And we'll announce the whole platform. So, but you can be a part of helping the Central Florida Crusaders. You could be an ambassador for the Central Florida Crusaders, and that comes with benefits. By the way, I can't tell you exactly what, because I don't want to jump sharks. So they said I don't want to get out ahead of our announcement, but there is going to be an ambassador program, and you can actually be a part of the Central Florida Crusaders.
One last thing is the tryouts. Tell us about the date and info for that.
Yeah, October the 22nd at the Cortland Road location for XL Soccer. We're going to have our men's and women's tryouts. So again, October 22nd, they're going to begin at 1 o'clock. I believe registration is set for, you can start registering the day of, like to come down to make sure you're ready to go at 12. But you can go on all of our social media. You can go on our website. So CFLcrusaders.com. You can also go on our Twitter. You can go on our Facebook page. The information is there. You can register to try out. You can pay for the tryout, and you'll be set to go. And you'll want to do that because it's less expensive now than it will be the day of. I think, Andrew, if I was right, it was $35.
50 and 75.
50. Yeah, it's 50 and 75. That's right. It's $50 now and $75 the day of. So don't wait. Get registered now, and you could be a part of, exciting indoor soccer. And I said, if you think you got the talent, make your dream happen. Come on, get down there, give it the best you got. Let's see what you can do. And you never know. You never know where you can go from one step to the other. Maybe this is the first step for you in a fantastic road, but you'll never know if you don't try. So this is your opportunity. The coaching staff will be there. We'll have some of our signed players there that day. So it's going to be a good day. It'll be our first time playing wise out in the community. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to meet some really talented young players, and I'm excited for them to show us what they can do.
No, we've got a lot of big announcements coming up soon, a lot of good things with tryouts, our uniforms, hopefully in the next few weeks to a month. I know they're in, and they're going to be getting printed this month, hopefully. So look for those to be unveiled later this month.
Yeah, we have to do something special for that.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to do something special for.
And I'll be honest, I retired from modeling years ago, so I'm just not going to do it. But if you need me to come out of retirement, I guess I can.
Hey, you know what though? That brings up a whole nother thing, because and we'll also elicit some feedback. We're developing a whole merchandise line, which excites me because now people can wear our gear. Not only can you now, and I can assure you, we're going to have the game jerseys available for sale, but some exciting additional merchandise for everybody. So Andrew, there's always something for you to model. And who knows? It could be a polo, could be a crop top, could be a hoodie, could be a windrunner, could be.
We talked about hoodies. We talked about hoodies, right?
Hoodies. We do.
I'm with my son in Orlando, and what's he wearing?
A hoodie.
He wore a hoodie to lunch. These kids, I don't get it.
My son wore a hoodie to school today. So I watch kids coming out of his school, and a lot of them are wearing hoodies. So yeah. So if we get the right hoodie, and look, the one thing that is known is our kit sponsor is Nike. So the gear is going to be good. So we'll probably have a few Nike products available in our merchandise line as well. So the merchandise will be quality. So we're looking forward to a lot of things coming out to the public. It's really exciting and fun. It's fun building something from the ground up. It's fun putting something out for the first time, and it's exciting and challenging to be a part of something for the first time.
Well, Tom, I'm excited to have you with me on this. It's going to take an army of people to really do this and to do it right. So I'm glad that you're part of the family, and we're all working hard. So again, reach out to us. Let us know, what your feedback is on the show, what you want to see. We'll try to get some players on here as well, and just continue to give you guys some updates. So thanks again for joining me, Tom, and thanks for watching, everyone.
Go Crusaders, go NISL soccer. Hey, look, by the way, go follow NISL on Facebook, go follow them on Twitter, and follow Central Florida Crusaders on Facebook and Twitter too. And learn a little bit about the league. Check out some of the other teams that are there too. So when they do come to town, you know the teams that we're playing against.